God didn't show up? Of course he showed up. He's always there. But God plays the long game, and sometimes it's a really long game and we don't see what he's doing, and maybe we won't see what he's doing. An example of that goes through 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, even into Esther in the Bible. Through the genealogies, we see God working the long game. Oh, how can that be? Who pays any attention to genealogies in the Bible? Hey, I find this really interesting. What do you think?
So Abishai wants to decapitate this guy that's running along the hills cursing David. And the king said, "What have I to do with you, ye sons of Zeruiah? So let him curse, because the Lord hath said unto him, Curse David. Who shall then say, Wherefore hast thou done so?" David said to Abishai and unto all his servants, "Behold, my son which came forth of my bowels seeketh my life. How much more now may this Benjamite do it? Let him alone, let him curse, for the Lord hath bidden him." David's feeling his own son's after him. Why curse this guy that he's after him? Leave him to the Lord. David gives him grace. He doesn't kill him. I'll come back to that in a minute. David continues, "It may be that the Lord will look upon mine affliction, and the Lord will requite me good for his cursing this day." And as David and his men went by the way, Shimei went along the hillside over against him and cursed as he went, and threw stones at him and cast dust. But they just let this go on. I want us to stand back. We're at the time of David. Let's just stop the clock there for a minute. Let's go ahead after Solomon and after the Civil War and after the kings divide and the northern kingdom finally gets wiped out by the Assyrian Empire. The southern kingdom goes to the Babylon captivity for 70 years, and after that they come back released under the Persian Empire. In the Persian Empire, we encounter the days of a gal by the name of Esther. And the book of Esther is a contest, in a sense, between two guys. A foreshadowing of Adolf Hitler, in a sense, a guy by the name of Haman, who sets out to wipe out all the Jews in the Persian Empire. It's kind of interesting to realize that this bad guy, the evil, the villain of the plot of the book of Esther, this Haman, is a descendant of Agag. That's the guy that Saul was supposed to kill and didn't. The reason God took the kingdom away from Saul, Nathan explains, is because he didn't kill the Agag. And of course, Nathan took care of that later, but the point is how interesting it is that Haman is a descendant of this guy that Saul was supposed to kill. Who's the hero of the plot? Esther in a sense, but really the guy that raised her. Mordecai. It's a contest between Mordecai and Haman. Mordecai in Esther chapter 2 verse 5 is identified as a descendant of guess who? Shimei, the guy that David refused to kill. You can't help but sort of wonder, if David had killed Shimei, would there have been a Mordecai in position to have thwarted the plot of Haman? It's interesting how these incidents, centuries earlier, play out in the main thread of the biblical narrative